Welcome to Me Time with Mind Escape Vibe, where it is your time to be kind to your mind. I am super excited today because I have Faith Brown on from Faith Counseling. Faith, I'm going to toss it over to you so you can introduce yourself to the Me Timers.
Yeah, hi, I'm Faith Brown. I'm currently a lone of Renee, but I am a faith counseling is what I go by. But I am a adult. I am a adolescent therapist from the ages of 12 to 18, and I'm here to do me time with Mind Escape Vibe with Renee.
Now, y'all don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I've known Faith since she was knee-high to a grasshopper. You know, my little sister that I always talk about, Eb. This was actually one of her running buddies. Look, you saw one, you saw the other one, and Deanna was the other one. They were like the three musketeers. So it's nice in our grown-up life that we can bring it back full circle to deliver this beautiful message to you today. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I'm going to dive right in.
All right.
Okay, so before I get started, I like to start with a mental victory vibe celebration, and that is you share something that you've done to pour into your own cup, to feed your soul, to just uplift you and motivate you. What have you done for yourself lately?
So lately, I have what I do to pour into myself daily is I start off and end the day with prayer. I am very in tune to spiritual and emotional growth. So I do daily devotions and I do prayer in the morning, and then I try to do something for myself every day. So whether it's indulging in like I'm big on podcasts. I'm big on just taking time when nobody's around, close the door, and it's just me time. If I watch a favorite show for an hour, but I try to do 45 minutes or an hour to myself. Something. I'm a reader, so if I'm reading a book for 30 minutes or something that's beneficial to me, so I've set a boundary daily. I pray. I begin the day with prayer and devotion, and I end the day with prayer and devotion. So that is mental for me because it's a mental separation because for years I did everything for everyone else, pouring into my kids and the everyday life of work and forgot about me and just went to sleep. So that's a mental thing for me. The last 2 years, I've made sure that at least an hour is dedicated to faith. So that's a celebration.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Let me just say that loud for the people in the back. Okay. She said an hour. She said a boundary to pour into her cup. So ladies, did you hear that? Did you hear? You need to start getting your phones out and start thinking about setting that boundary because you heard it here. You heard it here from Faith. You heard it.
Yes.
I mean, so it's very easy to do that. We pour into as nurturers as women, right? It is so easy to pour into and nurture everyone else in our lives. And we function on this autopilot. It's like our autopilot is there and that hamster wheel is spinning. And then one day you wake up and you're so tired. You're a little snarky. When you walk in the room, they like, who is it today? Is it the woman that we love? Or is it somebody else? What advice would you give to the ladies? You've already dropped another gem with them. How can they decide what's the best thing to do, or how to start to set those boundaries so they can have that 1 hour, so they can have that 45 minutes?
My suggestion is, well, so I remember just, sometimes we get caught up in, so if we're working and we're nurturing, we get caught up into what's called a form. A lot of times, if you're a churchgoer, you know what the form is. You know when to clap your hands. You know when to stand up. You know when to say thank you, Jesus. You know when to say whatever you say whenever you're in spiritual. It's just a habit. Even in my a class, we did grief counseling, and when you tell someone, hey, my sister passed or something, you say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But in 5 minutes, you walk away and you forget about it. just being totally honest. It's a form. So what I try to teach or I try to install in people I know is be authentic as possible in the moment. So if you something or do something and you're not feeling it, then it's a form. So my suggestion is how you put energy into yourself where you can set that boundary is to know when I'm choosing to do this or saying this, how am I feeling? Am I feeling great? Do I feel relieved? Do I accept this feeling? And so that is, whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, I want to feel good and I want to feel proud of me and I want to feel different. And that's my suggestion. You set a boundary. A lot of people, I set boundaries. I cut my phone off. I do this. But are you still feeling overwhelmed? So I just suggest that.
Did she just read somebody? The first read of the interview just happened. She said, and how are you feeling? Are you still feeling overwhelmed? I get that a lot. I hear that from ladies a lot. Oh, I put my phone on D&D at this time and I take that time, but you still frazzled. Your hair's still on fire. You know, your soul is still like, it's jumping. Nay, and your saboteur is all up in your ears. She just gave y'all a read. We're not trying to hurt your feelings. We're trying to help you. Go ahead on, Faith. Woo!
Just feel it. Like, you got to feel good after you do it and be at peace. So
yes. I love it. She said authentically, the form. And you know, now that I think about it, when I function on autopilot, because I still do sometimes, like I have to check my ego self quite often. I had to do it last week and I was instantly on that autopilot because I had something to prove. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and I was so tired. And not tired like I had not slept in days, and I knew I was going to get a full night's sleep every night. Yes. And would that be similar to what you're talking about with form?
Yes. Yes, I do think that that's definitely a form. I can relate to that, not getting no sleep, but get up, go to work, and just be okay. Hey, no, you're exhausted. Yes, that's autopilot. We know how to go straight into, but how are we feeling? How are we feeling? So what needs to change? What do we need to do? Yeah, it's like,
I need to create an affirmation card that just says, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? I need to actually put that on my mindfulness vision board that I have here that I look at every day, just every day, so I can ask myself, how am I feeling?
Yeah, how are you really feeling?
Ooh, I love it. I'm super excited. So you said a lot of your counseling is with adolescents, 12 to 18.
Mm-hmm. At this stage right now. Yeah.
At this stage right now. Okay. And a lot of what I'm hearing in the news, and media is about the depression and a lot of the things that's happening with kids nowadays, the rate of suicide and those depressive feelings, those feelings of carrying the weight on their shoulders of loneliness. For moms out there that's really trying to wrap their arms around their babies and show them that they're loved and they have a place in this world, what is a good way to start?
That's a good question. I would honestly say that taking the time to just listen. I would say, a lot of times we talk to our kids, but are we actually taking the time with listening and spending time? I know that we might get off work and we have like a routine where we what's for dinner if chores are done, but I think I've made a habit of doing a check-in, like what y'all do today, what y'all talk about, what are the kids talking about, what are you interested in. I used to be big on, you got to get in something, you got to get in sports, you got to do this, but I want to know what they're talking about with their friends. I want to know, if they've seen a friend that is struggling. I just want to know more. Even if it's, that 20-minute conversation, ask questions, like a probe question. I know we're not trying to probe, but asking questions that we may have not been asked when we were kids, because we live in a different time. And I learned from the kids in my group, like, whoa, I never thought to ask that. So I would say, think of asking them questions that you were never asked. Like, kind of think outside the box a little bit. Like, ask them things that you may have been talking about that your mom never asked you.
That is actually some really good advice. I have never thought of it that way. To ask questions that I wish my mom had asked me, or that I was talking about with my girlfriends when we, Mom, this is the disclaimer if you happen to listen to this podcast. On the days that we skipped school, and the conversations that we had on the bus that we would catch right in front of West Side.
Yeah.
Mom, I'm sorry.
No.
But that's a good question. Some good advice. Ask them the questions that you thought you were talking to your friends about.
Yeah, I suggest asking them, because believe it or not, if you don't ask them, somebody on that school bus is asking them, or somebody at school is talking about it. And even if they have never been exposed to it, they're listening.
Ooh.
So I try to ask whatever I can.
It's a different time. I can say, so with you guys, well, especially growing up with Eb, like Eb and I had a 12-year age difference, but I would hone in on her like, hey, what you doing? What's going on? Come on over here. Let me find. That's how I knew what was going on all up in y'all circle. And Mom, this is another apology. Please forgive me. I did keep the secrets. I did. But I knew what was going on in the circle, so I could know how to protect and give advice. And that's similar to what you're saying. Hey, be in tune with what's happening in the circle.
Yeah. And what's amazing is, I've watched all of us grow up and become serious parents. And I get so amazed that I was like, we parents, like, what? And sometimes I bring it up, well, think about it, shouldn't we ask them? And we're all different parents, and I respect that. And I just be like, well, we need to ask them, because we know. And some of us are more like, they better not, I'm not, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. We parents now, we're protectors now. And so, I always tell my friends, hey, if I can't deal with it, let them come to you. Let them know, hey, it's a support out there. If you feel like mom is not handling it, let your child know, hey, I got a friend, call her. I know you got an auntie or somebody, call them, because I don't want you to be, stuck out there. So I get it. We're all different parents and we're serious now. But I want my kids to know, like, if you feel like mom not handling it, go get some help. And so,
that is some really good advice. You have just honed in on something that's missing a lot in communities, and that is that village. Sometimes if they can't go to the parent, then it may be somebody else in the village. And with my girlfriends coming up, especially with our kids, we made sure that they knew, if you can't talk to me, you go and talk to somebody else. But you got somebody in this village that's going to be there for you.
Please, because they're suicide. It's a different time, and you can't talk to nobody. You never know, And I thank God that, our kids are safe, but there are kids out there that are not able to do that. They're not.
So let's bring back that village. Let's bring back that village. And some folks might listen to my podcast and say, honey child, we never stopped. We never left our village. But there are some out there that's like, how do we start?
Yeah.
How do we start?
Yeah.
And start by asking those questions and opening the door to say, hey, if you need somebody to talk to, call such and such.
Yeah.
Call them. Because I'm seeing a lot of kids, some of them bare their souls on social media, on
Yeah,
TikTok,
it's big. Social
on
media
Snapchat.
is big.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
big. I think you just said something really big as a um I did a lot of therapy with adults for years too, but for my last 2 years that I've been in group therapy with adolescents, they teach me so much. And um I did another interview and they brought up social media, and the big thing I talked about is cyberbullying and um internet relationships. That's something that I hadn't studied a lot on, but it's talked about so much among our youth that I think it's good to study on cyberbullying, how it starts, pacts made online, and serious online relationships. These kids have, since the pandemic, they are very serious about online relationships. And so they need to be educated, and as parents we need to be educated on how it starts, how it gets serious, what happens, how pacts are formed, and what it can do to our children and our mentally. So
So let's talk about it then, cause you dropping some gems on me. I'm about to go and tap on Keon's door and say, come here for a second. Come here, come here.
yeah.
Let's talk about the cyberbullying. What can parents do to prepare and to just, you know, and I'm asking this and this thought just popped in my head at the same time. Because you have that teen or that preteen that's, you're invading my privacy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want to know what's going on with them, because cyberbullying could be something that's going on, or these packs. So what would you recommend that some of the moms and some of the parents do? Just to start to open that door for the conversation, because I think it's a twofold conversation, because a lot of times these children or teens, they feel like it's their privacy. This is my life.
Like,
why do you want to be a part of that?
I would, first of all, age. I'm big on screen time, even though I have to go back and forth with my kids about screen time, because they feel like, well, I had to do this, so I get more time. I do think it's age appropriate for screen time. I think it's age appropriate for monitoring. Most of the time, we're paying for the devices that they're using, like laptops, iPads, phones, and I do think we should monitor it. I think, like my daughter don't, she got a couple TikToks, but I'm like on them like she don't know. But I'm just saying, like, monitor.
Is she gonna listen to this podcast?
I don't
she gonna listen to this podcast. You hear me? She's gonna listen to this
one, but so my thing is monitor them, but let them know, hey, I'm not trying to invade your privacy, but I want to know about the friends you talk to online. Like, how do you feel about it? Are you just playing games? Do you know these people? Have you met them? I would just monitor in a way that's safe for you and your child, no matter what age they are, because like I said, the teen dating, they are dating just like you would date in person. So they do things online that we may be like, whoa, that's too much, but they talk about it like this thing called sexting and sending pictures. Let them know that once a picture is released from your phone, you have no control over that. I would say that, even if it's just a cute selfie of your face, once a picture leaves from your possession, you have no idea where that picture is going. And so
let me just tell you a story.
I would set limits on screen time. I would monitor age appropriately. Like I said, we have teenagers, we have preteens, but we need to be able to monitor it some way and talk to them about sending pictures go all over the world. People are committing suicide over pictures sent of their bodies that they didn't want exposed. Pacts are being formed online. One person doesn't like the person. One person posted the picture. Now there's a team of teenagers. You have to be careful. The pictures.
So is that what a pack is? So a picture is posted online, and then another teenager reposts the pic, or they come together and say, "This is what we're gonna do to," because they posted this pic.
Well,
Is
a
this how
pet.
that?
Let me
My kids is kind of grown. I mean, my youngest is 21.
yeah.
So
So
school is
in
grandma over here.
layman, I'm gonna give you a layman terms. I don't want this to be the clinical definition, but in layman terms can be a group of people that come together online and team up against anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a picture posted. It could be somebody made a comment about another person, and these people come behind the comment, and it starts bullying pad. So it's like, oh yeah, I heard this about this person. Oh yeah, I don't like them either, and this blah 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 blah. Or oh yeah, they look this. I saw them with this. So it's just a group of people coming against another individual or a group of individuals, and now there's this cyberbullying.
Okay.
So
I'm very familiar with that. When my youngest was in middle school, and at that time, Twitter. Can I get on Twitter? Can I get on Twitter? Well, someone from the school that Keon was at the time responded and said, "Go drink bleach. Go kill yourself." Then the other kids started chiming in. And I said, "Oh no more Twitter. That's it."
Yeah.
So now I understand what you're saying. And it's happening a lot because, I mean, the internet is connecting multiple people from around the world together. And you're absolutely right. Relationships are formed, sometimes lasting friendships, and they've never met in person.
Right.
And that's some great advice. Talk to your child and ask.
Yeah. Never met, and they serious. I mean, serious.
Oh my goodness. Back in the day, back in my day, I'm dating myself. I'm just going to put it out there. In the 80s, 90s, especially in high school, like you could ditch school and watch your parents leave, go to work from the alley, and nobody would know because there was no phone. Nobody was recording. Now,
right? You knew the schedule, you knew the time.
Yes, you got the Ring camera. Everything.
I mean, and there are parents that have the house. I got friends that can log on their phone and see what their kids are doing. And I don't. That's a lot of kids complain about the privacy, but I think I honestly think some kids may need that. Not all, but I don't want to be. I'm not a parent that tries so hard to invade the privacy of my kids. But if you've had a kid, just think about this. If you've had a kid that has attempted to harm themselves significantly, how do you feel about that? Do you think we should be putting the cameras so we can be at work and logging? How do you feel about it? Do you think that's too much? I guess that's a case by case. Let me not go there. I'm going podcast out. I'm sorry.
No. I'm trying to think about it because it's something. It's a good conversation to have. It's a good conversation to have. Like, how much is too much? That's what you're saying. How much is too much?
It's too much. Yeah. So I do think there are some kids that have had their privacy taken because of their
some of a decision that they made that wasn't the best decision to make.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, those cameras.
And we've all done it. Yeah. We've all done it. It's just that I just come from a generation that when we made some of those mistakes, it wasn't always on camera.
No, it was not. Right.
It wasn't so accessible. Yeah. I get that. Now, how can parents, because look, I love this conversation. I love this dialogue, but I could see some parents like, oh my God, the stress, the back of the neck, let me start to rethink that. What? How can the parents, as they're going through this method of discovery, that's what I want to call it. I don't want to call it, it's discovery. And it's discovering and building a different form, a different level of camaraderie between the child and the parent. But how can they also practice gratitude at the same time? And that's a question for you. Like, how, as you're doing this, Because, and as you're parenting, because we real parents now, serious, how do you practice gratitude at the same time?
Oh, that's a big one. Um, well, I am like so when I'm thinking about feeling it now because gratitude, I'm so grateful for so much I've been through. I was raised differently. Like my mom was very if my mom's not here anymore, and if she was here, she would be like probably like shocked of like the kid culture now. But I am grateful that I did have, some of the leading that I had in the household and outside of the household, because now as a parent, I'm able to see why some of the things that were taught to me, but it's still a challenge as a parent on making certain decisions. But I'm just grateful that right now my kids are able to talk to me, and they're able to say, hey, that's not right, or I'm not feeling a certain type of way. Like my daughter, since she started journaling, she's admitted some things to me that I never knew. And I'm so grateful that she was even able to say that, because I couldn't do that to my mom. Like I was afraid. So when you talk about gratitude, I'm just grateful, that my daughters are talking to me right now. I know that they're going to get older and I'm going to experience more challenges, but I wasn't able to say a lot to my parents. I was afraid. My dad sitting right there, he gonna hit me. But I was scared that like I'm not gonna be able to leave the house because they were a little strict, and they were. I think it's one thing to grow up in church and be religious, but they were a little stricter and they were more like structured and religious. But I'm grateful that I teach my kids a spiritual side, but I still allow them to experience and be themselves. And so that is a challenge for me every day, not, giving them a choice in certain areas, but grateful that they're opening up about things.
So would you say that the gratitude is in the communication, in the building of the relationship, in the mutual, and I say mutual respect, because a term that I use, I don't say to my grown children or my grandson at this point, that I don't say you're disrespecting me. I don't say that. Yeah. Instead, I say you're disrespecting my love, and we need to address why you're disrespecting my love. Why are we disrespecting each other's love?
Oh, that's cool.
So it's the gratitude in building those relationships, so that you can actually say, hey, it's not that I'm upset with you. It's not that I'm mad, or right now I just feel like you're disrespecting my love for you.
Yeah. So that, you said it much better. I love my children. I will do anything for them. And so when they are doing things that I don't, that I didn't teach them, I want to be able to appreciate them communicating with me. Like, what's going on? Why did this happen? What should we do about it? How can we prevent this? So I'm grateful that the communication, and they're not perfectly juice. They don't, but
teenagers. What kid is perfect? I mean, nobody is perfect.
But
everybody is a whip. Everybody is a work in progress. Whether you're 2 years old or 92 years old, everybody is still a whip.
Well, because you said something good. You said you're disrespecting my love. Because even as a therapist, you can't yell. You can't do good or bad. It is what it is. But as a mom, like when I don't want to yell, but sometimes you yell and you be like, okay. Oh, yeah. My kids have taught me how yelling, they just shut down. Like it be. But do you ever feel like you're disciplining the youth? I said this to my friends. I feel like I'm disciplining
Let me tell you something.
Out of my kids. Like I love them and I'm grateful, but I feel like that's me.
My youngest, out of all three of my babies, Okay, my youngest is a mirror. Okay, I look at
Okay.
Keon sometimes, and I'm like, Lord have mercy. Keon will walk away from a job if she don't feel like she's appreciated. Guess what? And I'm like, why don't you need to go and find something to do? You got to do this, you got. And one day I was out walking Faith, and I said, wait a minute. Just a couple months ago, I walked away from some work because I didn't feel appreciated and validated and respected. And I came home and said to her, I said, I'm sorry, baby, you get that from me. So yes, even my middle one, Key, like Amira, my oldest one, Mira. You know, they're little mirrors.
Yeah, my daughters, they just like they act. London and Brooke, they are different in day, but they still have me in them. I can see them, and I'll be like, I'm grateful that, but help me. So
you know. So I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna listen to this podcast. So I'm gonna keep some of the stories that I know from your teen years and from your youth. I'm not gonna even talk about it, but let them just know that.
They don't know. They definitely don't know a lot, but they know something. But they it's levels to these ages, you know.
It's levels to it. Because I used to be like, okay, wait a minute, what? Who's gonna be there? I need to round everybody up because these are the rules if I'm doing this.
Exactly.
And, you know, Ab come to me and say, hey, sis, we want to do such and such. You round them up because I need to let everybody know.
Who is the support?
I like round them up because I gotta let everybody know what the rules are.
Right.
So I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
What is your routine as far as when you're doing self-care, as far as like movement, nutrition, and just joy and fulfillment? Like, I know that a lot of folks have defined self-care as an external thing. Oh, I'm going to get my nails done. Oh, I'm going to get a mani-pedi. And to me, that's maintenance. Self-care to me is what you're doing to feed yourself internally. So what do you do to feed yourself internally?
Well, feeding myself, I do a lot of reading, but I remember when I started paying attention to that gladness program. Before that, I was like, I need to be healthy. I'm tired. Like I didn't even, I would get home and I would, even though I was in a routine, I would feel like I did a workout all day and I hadn't did nothing but talk and sit and do notes for group. And so the health part, I think it's made me be intentional about what I'm eating daily. I've been looking up what to put in on certain days. Like I'm not a dieter, no.
Oh, I'm anti-diet culture, girlfriend.
Yeah,
let me just tell you, let me just put that out there.
Yeah.
I am anti-diet culture.
I'm not a dieter, but I do think about like high energy days as far as how much today and how much tomorrow, how much during the day. So I am thinking about my water. Like I know I can tell how my body feels when I don't have enough water. So I do make sure I'm doing that. As far as movement, I've been trying to be on the bike at home for 10 minutes. I admit 10 to 15 minutes. I admit that I miss some days. But since I got that Gladys book, I was like, Ebony, I'm going to do 10 minutes every day. But I have not. But I've been saying if I go up the stairs, I got a little stairs in my apartment.
What? That's movement.
If I do, I want to do more, like a couple laps. So if I can do, I said 5 laps, but that's hard. Maybe 3 laps a day. And I do.
Well, do you go up the stairs to go to is your room upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's 1 lap. Did you come back down? Is the kitchen downstairs?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's 2.
So that's 2, right? So I'm counting, but I want to move more. I do want to do more walking, and so when I'm walking to the cafeteria or walking to building, we have like the inpatient facility, the outpatient facility, and so we walk counting those steps, just walking instead of driving, walk up to the
Hmm.
different buildings.
You know,
So
the reason I
moving,
started
moving.
walking every day, Faith, I started walking every day. So a couple of years ago, I was like really trying. I had lost a lot of weight, and I had like the hanging skin. At the you had that's the little fupa. Well,
Yeah.
my fupa, it had lost like some of the some of that fat tissue in the inside. It was just hanging, and I got it removed. I had a tummy tuck, and my son, Keandre, had a friend that was into fitness, and she was actually a professional bodybuilder. And I was like, what can I do? I just want to move. I want to be able to do something that I enjoy. And you know what she said? I just need for you to go outside and walk for 10 minutes. I started walking for 10 minutes, and then it went to 15, then it went to 20. Then now it's like I can walk, I just walk, and then I'll go and do an incline walk or something like that. But
Oh,
do you know, from my mentally, my body received it in a way that I would have never imagined, because I didn't start doing it for
mhm.
for that mental clarity. I started doing it because that's what a professional bodybuilder told me to do.
Okay. Just
You know,
walking.
yeah, and that's why I always say try to find something you enjoy. Because
Yeah.
when I started it, I had no idea. 4 years later, that it would be one of the biggest things that I enjoy. And you want to know the crazy part about it
Yeah.
is, everybody had a music that they like to listen to.
Yeah.
I I play classical music when I walk.
Okay.
I don't want to hear words. I just like to hear
Okay.
the sounds. And I
Um,
I would have never in my wildest dreams
said think
ever
I've been
thought that
walking
that
to
would be me.
classical. That
Yes.
sounds peaceful though. It does.
Because let me tell you, I do have my ratchet pleasures, okay? I do have my ratchet
Shut up.
pleasures, okay? I mean, just the other day, I ended one of my broadcasts quoting the great DMX. So I do have my moments.
I understand. I understand.
So
I
it's
agree.
about really
Yeah.
finding what you enjoy.
Yeah.
And are you a walker though? Is that your jam? If you
I
had to
like.
decide what was your jam, what would
Yeah.
it
See,
be?
I don't like the cold in that. So like it's been cold.
Mhm.
It's been warmer days. So I don't walk in the cold. But if it's warm, I can walk. I can move. I like hip hop workout. I like Zumba classes, and I've been trying
Oh,
to find, but it looks like I'm gonna have to do it by myself because nobody. It's not. I always had a partner to do it, so I have to when I one. Or I like line dancing. When I was before I moved here, I used to go to the line dancing classes, the hip hop workout, and Zumba. So that is my goal is to find one of those
I
out
know
here
that too.
because in the area now, Nova still, I'm not used to it, so I have to find things to get into that may be in downtown Indy. But yeah,
Y'all heard it here. She has said, in downtown Indy and the surrounding areas, hey, y'all need to drop us some comments, leave us some messages on some activities that she wants to get into. Zumba,
yeah,
you said line dancing, and what was the other one?
hip hop workout.
Hip hop workout. Y'all heard it here.
Yeah,
Come on and help us out now. It's a
yeah,
village. It is a village and
we
community. Come
ready.
on and drop it,
We
Indy.
ready.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's get this sister out there so she can get her line dance on.
I love it. Yeah.
So I have one more question for you. I have one more question. What advice would you give your younger self to help cultivate self-trust over the years, to get you through those teen years, those early 20s, those mid 20s? What
Oof.
advice would you give your younger self?
The advice I would give my young self is to value yourself more as far as the more you value yourself and treat yourself good, the more it'll boost your self-esteem in every area, your relationships. Um, so emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, financial, all that. If you value you first, then it'll hit every area of your life.
Woo! Now,
That's for my younger self. If I would have done that a long time ago, I would have valued me. I think it would. Some things may have been different, but I still appreciate the process. But that's the suggestion I would have gave my younger self: is to value myself a little more.
I feel that in so many ways because I I um I feel like the value of me didn't start until very late in life. I mean, you get more self assured the older you get. However, valuing every aspect
That
of your
hit home.
being like that, I wish I had have done that early on too. Like that, but now I do it now, and that's what makes it more precious. Now I don't stand in the mirror and see every flaw and be like, girl, nope, nope. I'd be like, honey, you looking sexy right there. Go ahead on and let's put some earrings on and let's go shake a tail feather and show everybody what you're working with, girlfriend, because you're looking good. You're looking good.
There you
Whereas
go.
before, I would be like, I gotta do this. I gotta change this in order to fit
Yeah,
in.
I gotta do this. It took me years to do this because I was worried about they ain't gonna let me work. They're not gonna let me work with my hair locked. They're not gonna let me,
Girl, them
my
locks are
I
sexy.
didn't
What
wear
you talking
makeup on
about?
purpose for this. I didn't put on no makeup on purpose.
Girl, those locks is sexy. What you talking about?
Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah,
Shoot.
I was sure to value. So value yourself,
I
young ladies. Please value yourself.
Hey, this
Okay.
you fed my soul today. I get so excited because it took a long time for me to figure out what brings out that authentic me and what feeds me the most, and it's this. And you have fed me in a way today that no amount of other endorphins from a hit workout or anything else could take me this high. And I want to
Let me
thank you.
cheer up because your blogs have encouraged me on another level. So
So I am. Whew, I can dance right now. I'm I'm so excited, and
I'm enjoying you too.
I appreciate you for coming on. I know I'm later in the year. I'm going to be doing. I want to do a panel. I want to do a panel for women where we have the different generations of women.
Okay, that's
You know,
what's
all
up.
and I hope you'll think about coming back on and dropping some more gems on us because you bless my soul today, girl. You bless my soul, Faith.
You blessed me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that because I'm ready to tell my story, and I feel like that when you get to that point,
Mhm.
somebody you encourage that. So I appreciate that.
That's
And
right. Look, for those out there that's listening right now, me timers, let me just let y'all know that GI has been in the building. For those that don't know what
yeah,
GI stands for, that's Gary, Indiana. We out
yeah,
here repping. We repping that 219, baby. And
yes, sir.
I just want to thank all of those folks that came out to rep that 219 on my podcast, starting with Faith. Eb was on. It's going to be on too for the month of March. So, Faith, I
Ready.
appreciate you.
Thank you,
I thank you
Renee.
so much. And
Thank you.
I the better I get and the more I understand my calling with stress management and soul enlightenment coaching, and to know that I know someone that's out there that's a therapist that's doing these things that's encouraging me, it just makes me even more overjoyed, more happy, more genuine, and walking more in my authenticity. And I thank you for blessing me with that. Thank you.
Thank you. I speak that you going somewhere. I'm gonna be there to celebrate. I'm gonna be there to celebrate. So see you then.
You know, when I post this video and
You
I
are
post a
there.
grip
You
and I'm
already
dancing
there.
like that, they're gonna be like, "What is she doing?" But for the folks that know me, they understand why I'm dancing. So thank you so much, Faith, and me timers. Check Faith out. How can me timers learn more about you and about what you do?
So I just want to say something for Girl Code. I was chosen to be on a board called Girl Code, and that is where I'm trying to go off into something different. Right now, I am working for an agency, but Faith Counseling will be venturing off. But right now, they can find me. I don't have I haven't presented like a formal platform, but I am in Greenwood as a child and adolescent counseling, Faith Counseling. You can check me out on IG. Just check out Faith Counseling 10 for more information about any private counseling.
And check out Girl Code.
Girl Code.
Check out Girl Code.
Girl Code is a friend of mine, Maisha Hutchinson, has started Girl Code, and I am on her board. I advertise her mentoring for young women. So if you have a child or a teenager and they would like to be a part of Girl Code, they can reach out to Maisha Hutchinson or Faith Counseling 10, and I can give you information on how to be a part of her organization. So.
Okay, I'm going to put that in the comments. Y'all, look, we talked a lot about the village, the communities, the support. And Girl Code, oh my gosh, like, let me tell you who runs the world. So I'm going to leave that information, and let me tell you something. We were blessed today. And thank you for taking time to spend time with me today. Where it is your time to be kind to your mind. You guys have a great day. Thank you, Faith, for coming on.
Thank you. Have a good day.